guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. It's Makeup by Wanjiru, and don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts on the comment section below. And guys, today I'm going to do how to achieve a flawless glam. So let's see each other on the video. So the biggest thing that I've learned when it comes to makeup is blending. You have to take your time on blending, and when you learn blending, it becomes so easily. By the way, guys, very easy, even on how you can blend different shades. It becomes so easily. So we shall be discussing all these in this video. So today I want to start first with my primer. So the first thing when it comes to applying makeup is primer, moisturizer. The first thing when it comes to application of the makeup, you are supposed to apply something on your face. Moisturizer, that is moisturizer. So you're supposed to apply primer. And primer is very important because it prevents your skin, and not only does it protect your skin, but create a smooth and canvas for you to apply your makeup. I don't know if you've ever come across these painters. When they paint, their painters are always flawless because they use that canvas or that primer of that painting. So on us, we use the primer so that it may give us the canvas of a flawless makeup. So you find that makeup application is not that hard when you're applying it. So it gives a smooth texture, or a smooth texture for makeup application. And this is how my primer is. So this is my primer. And guys, when it comes to primer with an oily skin, if you are an oily skin, I always recommend primer that is hydrated, that is hydrating the skin all over your face. And the reason that why I love hydrating primer is important for oily skin is because it helps in balancing those oils on the face. You see, you're very oily, so it helps in balancing the oil in the face. So you can if you wanna use that primer with oily face, I would recommend hydrating or mattifying primer. So yes. So if you have an oily skin, kindly just use oily free hydrating primer or mattifying primer. Okay, so you're supposed to be to know that. And then after applying hydrating primer all over, after you've applied all over your skin, I would also recommend going in with the primer which is mattifying around the area of your face, mostly the T-zone. This is the T-zone, as you can see, T-zone for oily skin. I don't want dry skin to use a mattifying product, and already she has a dry skin. So the other one is dry skin. So if you have a normal to dry skin, supposed to use an hydrating primer, you have no business using a mattifying primer, as I've said. So you're not supposed to use a mattifying primer, but you're supposed to use an hydrating primer. If you got a dry skin, you should not be you should be using a mattifying primer. Okay, and that's it for primer now. So next to the face, I will also recommend, mostly for beginners, to use a full coverage, because if maybe you are not fond of a lot of product on your face, when you use that full coverage, it's just perfect in it. You'll just feel, because you'll just apply one foundation, you'll feel you're okay. So I always prefer a full coverage. And I want to do makeup, and then I illustrate while doing it. Next, we're gonna move to foundation. So for foundation for beginners, I would like to recommend a foundation that is full coverage. Reason why I love full coverage is for beginners, it feels very comfortable on your skin, especially if you're not used on wearing makeup. If you have a dry skin, I would also recommend using a foundation that is more luminous and radiant foundation, because this feels better on dry skin. If you have an oily skin, I would also recommend a matte foundation, and they really last longer and they prevent your skin from producing oil over time. So the foundation that I can recommend is Revlon and Maybelline foundation for oily skin, and it lasts for 24 hours. So, and if it's for foundation, I always like using one pump and then build your coverage as you apply, because when you use too much, your foundation will be cakey. But guys, don't worry, I'll be doing a video on how to avoid a cakey foundation, so that you may be so keen and also know where to avoid, and also know how to do it. Use a beauty blender, because it's easy to use, and make sure it's damp. Always make sure beauty blender is damp. And for my beginners, after you're done with foundation, the next step is always a concealer. But concealer, it's optional. If if your face is fine, no need for you to use a concealer. And the reason why people use concealer is to cover any discoloration in the skin or any area of our skin that is darker. The main concern of people is usually under the eye, when you have a dark circle and is dark that area. This is called a color corrector. So I'm omitting that part. I've just explained because of my beginners and those who have acne vulgaris, those who have comedons and all that. So the step that I'm doing right now, it's highlighting. And by the way, I've done a video on how to highlight and contour. If you've not watched, just go and check it up. So that where we highlight on our skin is penye jua ama penye mwangaza inakumulika. So light reflect on the forehead, T-zone area, bridge of the nose. There is where we highlight on our skin. So be keen about that. The other one is you apply while tapping immediately. Don't do the kind of pattern that other makeup artists do. Just apply and then tap to avoid the harsh line. And then another thing that I had forgotten, guys, is when you're applying your foundation, though I've been mentioning it on the other videos, when you're applying your foundation on the forehead, make sure you start from your eyebrows going up to avoid demarcation line on your hairline. So don't start your foundation from your hairline going down. No, just do your from your eyebrows going up to avoid demarcation line on your hairline, and also to avoid that whitish layer or layers on your hair. That is what I call a demarcation line. And next, after you finish highlighting, we go to setting powder, and to remove an excess powder and to tap it or you press it in on the areas that you've highlighted. And also, if you're an oily person, concentrate more on the T-zone. And after highlighting and setting on your highlighter, next one is contouring. You're supposed to contour on the cheekbone, just one stroke, and then you tap it in. Yes, guys, so that is it for today, and that is it for this video. So guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always liking the video, and let's see each other on my next video. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe and like that video.